This is as above, so below.
Hey, they said it. Come on. Do it. Fuck!
And watch how you play. They don't understand, and so we're running just as fast as we can. Holding on to one another's hand, trying to get away into the night, and then you put your arms around me.
Oh, fuck. Alright, hey, this is Grant, this is Zero Progress, and this is episode 2 of my series, Reviewed Footage, where, since you don't know what it's about, it's basically a series where I'm going to be exclusively reviewing found footage movies, comparing them to each other, seeing what works, what doesn't work, and if at the end of the day it's an enjoyable movie. I feel like the genre gets a bad rap, like people instantly will dismiss a movie just because it's found footage, and I know that a majority of them, definitely the majority of them aren't really worth watching, but that's the point of this. I'm trying to show you what's worth watching and what you should avoid. On to the review. This episode is for As Above, So Below. This came out in 2014 and is directed by, got my cheat sheet right here, John Eric Dowell, and his previous films include the likes of, the Poughkeepsie Tapes, which is actually really good, Quarantine, which I've never seen, and Devil, which... Alright, so into the plot, and before I get too far into it, let me go ahead and say spoilers here. The plot description, I'm going to be going pretty far in depth before I get into my thoughts of the film. If you don't care about spoilers, watch the whole thing. I don't give a fuck. That was a bad omen. That's what that was. That was cool. Alright, so we jump right into the plot here, and we come in with a character named Scarlett Marlowe. She's an archaeologist, reporter, documentarian, you know, that old chestnut. I'm just going to refer to Scarlett as Laura Croft multiple times throughout this review because a really good overall description is imagine this as a found footage Laura Croft movie or Indiana Jones movie, because I did not watch this as horror. Yes, it has horror elements and it can get scary, but I will say it's structured and presented much more like an archaeological adventure movie. And it was interesting to see that done in this style. So we come in with Scarlett Marlowe. She is in Iran. I was going to say some nondescript Middle East war country, but Iran is the accurate description. And she's looking for the Philosopher's Stone, which is something her father's been trying to find. He spent his entire academic life trying to find it, and he got laughed out by his peers, and it caused him to be depressed, to commit suicide, and she feels guilty that she never saved him. So that's like her character. She's like following in her father's footsteps, trying to find the Philosopher's Stone. That sound familiar to a certain video game heroine? So she basically finds an artifact in Iran that is about to be blown up by the terrorists, and she manages to get all the information off of it, which is like a Rosetta Stone for this language, and she uses that to decrypt where the Philosopher's Stone is hidden, which is discovered to be most likely 770 something feet below the Earth's crust, or some number, some arbitrary number that apparently the alchemists thought was the distance between heaven and hell. And so they figure that the best way to find it that deep below, underneath Paris, is to start weaving their way and go through the catacombs. She assembles her team. You know, you got the black cameraman, you got her boyfriend, you got her, and then as they're touring the catacombs, this random guy who's just drawing on a pen and paper, who's drawing on who's drawing is like, yeah, there's this guy. His name's Pop. You can find him in this club. He tours these catacombs underground. You should find him. So yeah, she's assembled this team. She's got them all together, and they're all real characters. They have a really cool bonding session. They have, and I guess this is gonna start being a common theme, but just like in House's October Built, there's another rap scene, except this one's more organic and natural.
You rock.
Hey yo, I
Listen to that.
Yeah,
And it's
do
over.
it like that.
3 seconds.
Dinero, you want to see Dinero?
Yes, yes.
Like,
Don't do it.
oh no, I can't. Let me do Dinero. Fuck, man. Fuck. No, like just like that.
So they're going into the catacombs. They decide to go in the catacombs. Pop's leading them. It's getting really claustrophobic. It's getting creepy. There's weird noises. At one point, they come across this random chanting cult in the catacombs, which is kind of random. For a second, I was like, oh, I'm not in the movie. But, you know, it worked. And it also worked when you realize one of the chanting people was someone you saw in the club earlier. Oh, it's the weird chick from before. Which was kind of funny. I don't know if that was an Easter egg or a little funny thing, but it worked. I thought it was neat. But they go into the catacombs, and they eventually get to the point where they think they need to go, but the only way is to crawl through this tunnel of bones. Yeah. And, like, no one wants to do it, but they end up being convinced to do it, and they crawl through the tunnel, only for it to start collapsing, and then once they get through the tunnel, they realize they're back where they started, except there's no exit door, and they're trapped. And the tunnel has fallen, so they can't go back that way. And the only way they can go is this door that was there before they got there that basically Pop is like, anyone who goes in there never comes back. That's why it's bricked up. We don't want to go there. We don't want to go there. That's terrible. Bad decision. I'm not going to fucking go in there. But they all go in there. And when they first start touring the catacombs after going to that area where they keep saying, don't go there, don't go there, things are instantly off. Things are instantly creepy. They hear a phone ring, and there shouldn't be any phone lines. Laura Croft picks up the phone, and it's implied that it's her dad talking to her. And there's this really great scene where Laura Croft's boyfriend comes across a piano. He's like, I had a piano just like that. We would always play Blinding Light Over the Ocean, but could never finish it.
Danny and I used to play it all the time. We only knew one song. Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean. You remember that song? We could never finish it because the A4 key was fucked up.
George.
This is a trip.
But Laura Croft, she's got the clues and the archaeological know-how to realize this is a riddle that we need to solve, and they figure it out, and they end up getting out and finding a secret exit. This leads them to another place where they find a body that hasn't decomposed over thousands of years for some reason, which is weird. She, uses the know-how to figure out that actually there's another way, there's another secret way through this water, which I thought was clever. They had to turn all the lights off, and they could see light coming from under the water, which clued them into a pathway where they found the Philosopher's Stone and all this treasure. The treasure's behind guards. The Philosopher's Stone's hidden amongst the treasure in plain sight. Up until this point, we've been wondering what's so great about the Philosopher's Stone. We know it's got magical properties. Turns out it can just heal people. It can just heal you and give you eternal youth. But it can't bring you back from the dead. Well, shit.
The stone! Bring her back, please! Fix her! It will fix her! Please try! Try it, please! Fix her! Fix her!
It can't bring back the dead.
Children behave. That's what they say when we're together. And watch how you play.
My thoughts on the movie, yes, As Above, So Below was a very nice palate cleanser for, that movie. I very much enjoyed it. I feel like it's got a bad rap. I understand most found footage movies are really rotten reviewed on Rotten Tomatoes, but this I honestly feel like should have been elevated up past that, because it got judged as a just another found footage horror movie, but it was much more of an adventure movie from my point of view. At least that's how I watched it. That's how I viewed it, and I don't know. I guess I got more enjoyment out of it because that's the perspective I watched it. I watched it like I was watching, as if Laura Croft had a friend with a camera following her and she had a GoPro strapped on her head. And as a matter of fact, I would go for this director. If you're going to make a Laura Croft reboot film, get this guy. And that's why I really like this movie. It was like a fun adventure movie, and I gotta give it props for that. I gotta give it props for trying something different and not just being the typical found footage horror fare. And there weren't that many jump scares. There were like 2, I think of, 3 maybe, but most of it was like being in the odd catacombs, hearing the noises around you, the characters reacting. The deaths were interesting. This movie worked. It just worked on most levels for me. I would say it's definitely worth a watch. If you like found footage movies, if you're in the mood for like maybe a fun adventure movie that like you've never seen before, you don't really have any like preconceived notions going in, I would recommend this. It's a good hour and 20-minute fun adventure. I really don't know what more to say. The acting was well done. The direction was good. The effects were good. The sets were really good. I felt like I really was in the catacombs, and then eventually I felt like I was in a hell cave. Like, this is hell as a cave.
We're not going to go here. Not this time. Maybe another time.
Yeah, I like the detail of like the tagging, like this far in, how there's not as much, but it's like, this is how far I went before I was like, fuck this, and turned back, you know? It's kind of cool. The filmmaking aspect of the movie didn't break at any point. I feel like it made sense. It kept its logic throughout. If you don't like found footage, I could see you maybe enjoying this, but if the whole concept of found footage has like really grated on you at this point, then maybe it's not worth a watch for you. But if you're willing to just sit back and enjoy it, this is a very enjoyable movie that I highly recommend. I think people should watch it. I feel like it should have more of a following in the horror community, well, the genre film community, than it does. If you want to see a found footage movie that's super intense and really, really scary, this isn't it. But if you want to see a fun fantasy adventure with horror elements done in a found footage style, then this movie's for you. Anyway, so please comment below. Let me know what you thought. Maybe recommend a movie. I am going to go ahead and announce here, I'm going to be reviewing The Pyramid next, this movie. I'm planning on reviewing found footage movies from 2015. I'm going to try to get through all the found footage movies from 2015, with the caveat of the budget is $1 million or up, or it was theatrically released. Theatrically released or $1 million plus budget, I'm going to try to get through all the 2015 found footage movies. I'm using the website foundfootagecritic.com as my main resource, that and Google, and I've found quite a lot. I found a huge list of movies. But if you want to recommend any found footage movies that came out in 2015 that you think might be worth my time to review, please comment below. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do, 2015 found footage movies. I feel like that would be a good way to just kind of narrow down the list and kind of maybe do it year by year eventually, because there are a lot of found footage movies, like too many. Please like the video so I don't kill myself. Please comment, please subscribe, everything you gotta do. But thanks, and look forward to my next episode posted soon, hopefully in the next few days, however long my lazy ass decides to take. But yeah, look forward to The Pyramid 2015 next. And based off its Rotten Tomatoes score, hopefully I don't kill myself. So, like I always say, shut the fuck!
Children be